What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. I'm Anthony. On today's video, I got another project for y'all. This one is going to be a chicken tractor so I can grow and harvest my own meat birds. Stay tuned. All right, here she is. Took me about 3 days and some change. You know, weather obviously was a big consideration because every time I try to get to work on it, it would start raining. It's summertime in the south, or springtime in the south, sorry. And yeah, this is going to be used to house about 6 to 10 meat birds. It is 8 by 4, meaning 32 square feet of space. If you give each bird 2 square feet, you know, obviously I could fit in a decent amount of birds in here, at least 16. I'm not going to do that. I think the most I'll probably do at one time is maybe 10. Way to give them a little bit more room, but the idea of it is to roll it around the yard so they don't destroy the grass in one section, and also give them bugs and all kinds of cool stuff to improve the quality of meat. One thing I wanted to add here though is this doesn't just have to be for meat birds. You could absolutely do this for layers if you don't have a traditional coop. The only thing you're going to want to add if you have laying hens is a nesting box, so they have somewhere to lay their eggs. Other than that, same thing goes. All right, so here's your walk around. As you can see, I don't have a joist or anything going between these two posts, so I had to use wire and rotate the wire up and around to make it work. But that's pretty strong. Nothing's gonna really go through that, so I'm not upset with that. The wire on the sides and top is just like I normally do. With any of my wire or any of my chicken coops, since staples can be pulled out, especially by raccoons and coyotes, you want to make sure you grab something like a screw with a washer. These are 5/16 washers and just regular deck screws, and they hold the wire into place. I mean, it's literally going nowhere. So unless they have a screwdriver or a drill, coyotes ain't getting in here, which is why I do it this way. Okay, as for the wheels, I used 8-inch steel lawnmower wheels, or grill wheels. These things can hold about 60 pounds each. They got a bearing inside, they're offset, so I don't have to worry about rubbing up against the wire here. And I put them off the ground about 1.5 inches. So it doesn't just have space underneath here, but nothing's going to get underneath that unless they're digging. And by that point, this thing's going to be moved the following day, so I don't have to worry about it too much. But this thing rolls just fine. I rolled it all the way across the property, all the way over here, no problem. Now I had to improvise a handle. I'm probably going to improve this later on because it was kind of a pain in the ass moving it over here, but all I did was just 2x4, 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 screwed it here and put a piece of pipe. You know, 1/2 inch by 18 pipe that I picked up for like $2. As for water, I have 2 solutions here. One is the traditional water, which I have set up just on a regular 2x4 that I mitered in. And then the backup solution is just a PVC with an elbow. And I can fill up the water in there, and they can use these little spouts that you can probably get a place like Tractor Supply, whatnot. And I use it on my other chicken tractor, and it works out great. They love it. So I figured if I'm on uneven ground and that starts to leak, then I can just come over here and they'll use this one until I can, you know, move them again to its even ground, and that one doesn't leak anymore. Now, as for the place to roost, I just got elm. I think it's elm. I just cut it down. It's a little sapling, and I screwed it down on both sides. That way, they have somewhere to roost, so they can stay up off the ground. Just in case it's raining really, really hard and there's water on the ground, I don't want them sleeping in the ground. I want to be able to get up off of it. So that's my solution. As for the lid, pretty self-explanatory. This is, you saw me build the actual top, but I added a handle to it. That way I could lift it up, and the weight of it, make sure that nothing's going to be able to sneak in here because it's so heavy, nothing's going to be able to get in. And all it is just a 2x2 that I use for standard like railing with a mitered 2x4 here as a stop. So I can just fold it down and stop it here. And let me show you how I mounted it. The way I mounted it was just a simple 3/8 bolt nut with a couple washers and a little hanger there, so I can hang the 2x2 back up on top of it. Like I said, it goes down here, just in this little triangle I made. Fits in nice and snug, doesn't move anywhere, and yeah. Very simple design, and it holds the lid up great. Now when it comes down to their food, I thought about just coming out here and just throwing handfuls of food to them, but since it's meat birds, you kind of want them to eat as much as they can. So giving them some food so they can get to as they please, aside from what they can dig out, is paramount here. So what I did is I built a regular 3-inch PVC pipe, got a couple elbows here, you saw me building it, and I just aimed the nozzle down. That way as I fill it with feed through here, they can stick their heads in there and get as much feed as they want to. So that might not be feasible when they're little, but by the time they hit about 7 to 8 weeks and they get that ugly velociraptor teenager stage, they should have no problem getting their heads in there. So that's kind of what I'm planning on for that. The only issue I'm having right now is with water wanting to come down the side as it rains, and I have to seal that bottom one better because water seems to be getting through there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this thing back apart at some point and actually physically, put the glue on there so there's no water's going to leak in here. That way their food doesn't get wet, because we don't want fermented food and having a whole bunch of drunk chickens running around here. So that's the idea. And also, obviously, I don't want to have any kind of mold issues. So one more piece I wanted to talk about was this little section I added right here, because it kind of sags right here down below, because I only have 2 keepers, kind of ran out of wood. I wanted to make sure that there's nothing that could easily get in here or try to pull, so I added another piece of wire that kind of overlaps, and that seems to be working just fine because it moves with the top, so it's able to move freely, and there's been no issues so far after the dozens of times that I've opened this to finish working on it. That about does it for my chicken tractor build. I hope I was able to inspire you. Hopefully you learned a few things out of this video. Maybe give you some ideas if you want to do something yourself. I will be putting birds in here in the next few weeks, and I'll make sure to keep y'all posted on my progress. But again, if you learned, liked, appreciated my hard work in any way, please do me a humongous favor and give me a thumbs up. It would very much help me out. Subscribe to the channel if you are not, and I will catch y'all later, okay?